Welcome back to This Week in College Hockey. Here's your host, Zig Fracassi.
Getting you started with the club theme. Thought it'd be kind of fun to do today as far as club hockey and teams aspiring to get to Division I hockey. There's a school in New Jersey called Rutgers. I'm sure you heard of it. They're in the Big Ten. And our first guest here in studio, he's the general manager and recruiting director of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and a Rochester guy to boot. Adriaan Klaassen with us here. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good, Zig. Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So you obviously work here in the city, so good to have you with us. Rutgers, ACHA, Stunned to See, Iowa, BYU, a ton of these big-name schools under this hockey umbrella like you guys are.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of big-name universities competing at our level. And like your show is focused on today, hoping a couple of us can jump up to Division I NCAA level very soon.
When you look at like what Arizona State and Penn State have done, does it raise the ante a little bit, or at least create dialogue among the ADs of some of those other schools we just talked about? Like, hey, if they can do it, we can do it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it makes us jealous, first of all, and
yeah, I bet.
Definitely gives us a platform to approach our ADs with. I could tell you that the Penn State model is really something that we kind of look at all the time and aspire to follow. They've done everything right from the beginning, gone top of the line with everything, and their program is run by a great coach. So with them being in the Big Ten as well, and then creating the Big Ten Hockey Conference, for sure it gives us some ammo to take to our athletic directors and say, let's make this happen.
So you guys are rooting for them to have more success because then it furthers your cause.
Sure. And I mean, until we get to that level.
Right.
Then we'll become rivals as we used to be in the club level. But yeah, the more they do well, the better my argument becomes, because we believe that the potential in our area, in the state of New Jersey and in the Atlantic District USA Hockey region, the potential is at least what it was at Penn State before they made that happen. Are
your superiors listening to your argument?
They are. They're very open-minded. They love the idea, theoretically, at this point. Our athletic director, Pat Hobbs, is wonderful. I mean, he's only been there about a year now, and he has done unbelievable things in that first year, from fundraising to just turning around a couple big programs in football and basketball. I know people are going to say your football program's not there yet, but trust me, things are turning around. Good things are on the way, and look what Coach Peichel has done at basketball already. I think they're 11-1, 12-1 now, and he's got good people underneath him. So now he's really looking at where the athletic department's going to go in the next 5, 10, 15 years, and we hope to be a part of that plan.
Well, you mentioned the Big Ten, obviously, where Rutgers is in basketball and in football. Well, hockey, there's 6 programs right now. Notre Dame's going to be coming along next year. Somewhere you got to think there's going to ultimately be 10. Maybe you guys are part of that.
Yeah, that's the idea. We know for a fact that the other coaches in the Big Ten Conference would love to add a couple more teams, at least 8, hopefully 10 eventually. It'll just help the conference get stronger, and it will help TV revenue, and look at where we're situated. I think that's the whole reason, big part of the reason at least, as to why Rutgers and Maryland were added to the Big Ten in the first place, is to tap that Eastern market. So adding another one of the 4 professional sports to the docket at those 2 schools, especially ours in the New York market, would be a huge thing for them.
Adriaan Klaassen is with us. He's the GM and recruiting director at Rutgers Hockey. You'd follow at Coach Klaassen with 2 A's and 2 S's on Twitter. And you gave me a stat here, which I thought was rather astounding. Since you're a Jersey school, the growth in the last 12, 13 years has gone almost 200% upwards. 19 D1 guys in hockey in 2003, 54 as of last year. That's stunning to me.
It's amazing, the growth that's happened.
Johnny Gaudreau.
Right. The Van Riemsdyk brothers.
That's
Johnny
right.
Gaudreau. Palmieri playing for the Devils.
Kyle Palmieri, yep.
I watched his last high school game, and one of my players played in that game as well. And that kid came to us, and Kyle went, bigger and farther. But yeah, the talent coming out of our region is just booming right now, and we've dipped, I think, this year to 47 players from the state in Division I hockey. But in the next couple of years, the 99 to 01 birth years are very talented from the Atlantic District, and you'll see those numbers really shoot up in the next couple of years.
So what your guys this year around 9-7 in the ACHA? Is that kind of where you thought you might be at this point? Or...
Yeah, slightly. Our ranking right now, I believe, is 21. We would have liked to be in the mid-teens at least so far, but we could still get there. We started the year on a rough trip to Colorado, 4 games in 4 days.
Rocky Mountain Low,
yeah,
huh?
So,
sorry, had to throw it in there.
Colorado U had played a couple games before we went out there, and they were ready to go, and I think we just weren't ready to go the first day.
You mean the Boulder, Colorado
the
U,
Boulders,
another big
yes.
program.
And I believe who is also behind the scenes looking at trying to make the jump to Division I. I mean, the Pac-12 is going to be taking a serious look at this because of the Arizona State situation. But yeah, we made a 4-game trip out there to Colorado U and Colorado State and just came away with 1 win out of 4. So we started out slow, but came back home, swept Navy, and then we've had a couple big wins since then. We swept Stony Brook on a weekend. We just got done beating Liberty. Stony Brook was ranked 6th at the time. Liberty's ranked, I think, 16th. We split with Delaware, ranked 12th. So we've got some big wins, and we have some big opportunities coming up. We play Ohio U in mid-January, who is ranked 2nd or 3rd in the nation at the moment, hoping that game actually gets picked up by ESPN3.
Nice.
ACHA Division I is doing the ESPN Game of the Week this year. So they, meaning ESPN, selects which game from the teams that have applied for that weekend to air. So we're hoping they pick up our game on that Friday, the 20th of January.
Now, people think of Rutgers, obviously one of the oldest, maybe the oldest D1 football program. You were telling me a little bit earlier when we were talking off air that the program for hockey actually goes back couple of centuries, does it not?
Yep. 1892, they started skating on the Raritan River next to the campus.
Is that right?
I
Wow.
believe they were called the Raritan Redmen at the time. Yeah, but our program has gone through fits and starts a couple times since then, the most recent being early 60s. It's been playing continuously since then. We made the jump from ACHA Division II to Division I in 98 when I was actually playing. We won our conference tournament at the time and went to 3 or 4 straight national tournaments at Division II. Then we made the jump to Division I, ACHA.
What's the difference between the ACHA D1 and D2?
Well, there is talent at both levels. Some of the teams from the top of ACHA Division II could absolutely compete at ACHA Division I level. And there are always teams applying every year to make that jump, so the numbers are increasing at the Division I level. For us, our players on our Division I team, because we do have 2 teams within our program, our players on the D1 team tend to come from junior hockey background, EHL, the USPHL are 2 leagues in the East Coast. They come from midget Tier 1, U18 teams, and then there's a couple of diamonds in the rough that come out of 18AA or just pure high school players. Our Division II team is filled with more 18AA high school players or players who come into our university, realize that life just changed a whole lot as far as their academics and their schedule, and decide that they want a slightly less time-consuming activity. Our Division II team practices and plays slightly fewer games and practices than our D1 team does.
Adriaan Klaassen with us. He's the GM and recruiting director at Rutgers Hockey. Of course, you can follow, again, at Coach Klaassen with 2 A's and 2 S's on Twitter. I understand one of your players, the goaltender, Marcillo's up for a big honor.
He is, yeah. So the World University Games takes place every 2 years, and it moves around the world in different locations. This year it's in Kazakhstan, of all places.
Wow. That's a trip.
Yeah. So Chris, or Crispy as we call him, has been selected as one of 3 goalies that will be going to the camp at the end of this month up near Boston. They are going to play NCAA Division I Holy Cross and then the EHL All-Star team for 2 games. And then they will decide which 2 of those 3 goalies get to wear the Team USA uniform in January and February.
You guys got a top scoring line. I know Brian Nadd, 29 points, Fitch, 21 points, but the third leg of that literally has a leg injury, right?
Yes, CJ Maxut, who the three of them were our top three scorers last year and all played on the first line. He got run over at an outdoor concert by a truck about 3 days before the semester was due to start. He is now rehabbed. He's ready to go, and we're hoping to have the band back together as the next semester kicks off here.
When's the season resume for you?
Well, actually, we have the big announcement I was going to bring to the show today, which may not be that big in some people's eyes because we've done it in the past, but our outdoor game will be the next game that we play, our Outdoor Classic, which will take place January 7th. It's a Saturday evening at 6 p.m. at Navesink Country Club in Middletown, New Jersey. They put up an outdoor rink every year next to the clubhouse there. Last year, we had about 1,000 people there watching the game. Some special guests. We had Catherine Tappan in the house.
Oh, yeah.
She's a Rutgers alum. So
that's right. Yeah.
She was very happy to make it. And we do the game every year for charity, donate all proceeds to a charity this year and last year. In fact, it's the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation, which benefits spinal cord injury research. This one hits close to home for us because we're very close friends with Mike Nichols, who is a local high school player who was injured a couple years ago in a game and is now paralyzed, as well as our own Rutgers football player, Eric LeGrand, who many people know, and is a very inspiring individual himself. Just before the game last year was when the Dena Lang injury happened in the NWHL at the outdoor game for the NHL.
Oh, yeah.
So
sad.
This is really a charity that is, like I said, hits close to home for us. We try to do as much as we can to raise some money. So we want as many people to come out, attend the game. And if you can't attend the game, the promotions that we'll start putting out tonight will include a link that they can donate, that people can donate whether you make it or not.
So again, January 7th, where and when again?
Navesink Country Club, Middletown, New Jersey, 6 p.m. And we're going to be playing Lehigh University in that game.
Playing Lehigh, okay.
Correct.
All right. So you promised a big announcement, and there it is.
Yeah.
So we're only too glad to help. So if I talk to you next year or the year after, are you guys going to be ultimately where you want to be, or is this going to take some time to get to the D1?
Right. Well, it's an answer I don't think I can even give right at the moment. It's
fair enough.
It's a mission that's ongoing until it happens. It's something, like I said, we've discussed with our athletic director. Our deputy athletic director, Sarah Baumgartner, is also just an amazing person, electric personality, and an amazing fundraiser. So they're doing some great things. They need to turn around the finances of our athletic department at the moment, and they are doing that. And the Big Ten money that we're now earning will help. And come 2021, we'll be full members and pulling in a large chunk of change every year. So at the moment, Pat and Sarah are drafting a strategic plan for athletics for the next 5, 10, 15 years, and we're just hoping to be penciled in there somewhere so that we can start making this happen officially.
Where do you play your games regularly?
Right now we play out of Pro Skate Arena. It's in South Brunswick, New Jersey. Officially, it's about 5-10 minutes down Route 1 from our New Brunswick campus.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, it's been a blast having you, and I'll tell you what, we're praying for you guys. Alabama, UNLV, we're going to feature here, but all the schools that want to get to this level, anything you want, you can just strive for and work your damnedest to get.
That's right. And we're doing our job, and we're working hard right now while we're in flux here to make sure all the kids, the players, and their families know in our great state of New Jersey and the Atlantic District, we want them to know that we're working on this. And we're trying to make this happen so that they can have the opportunity to play Division I college hockey in front of large crowds against the big programs right at home down the street. Big Ten college hockey is some of the most notorious names in college hockey. Whether the conference has done great in the past few years or not, it's starting to ramp up again. And you talk about being able to play your Michigan, your Wisconsin, your Minnesotas,
Absolutely.
and now Penn State right in your own backyard be a great thing for our state and for the state of our game in the area.
Adriaan Klaassen, GM, recruiting director at Rutgers Hockey, thanks for coming in, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Zig. And we, like I said before, we sometimes have to claw and scratch for some notoriety, so this is greatly appreciated.
He's Adriaan. I'm Zig. You're listening to This Week in College Hockey.
This Week in College Hockey. We'll be right back on Sirius XM College Sports Nation, Channel 84.